meeting for our advisor client and our master members. At this meeting, we like to help you set aside some time for the month to talk about some marketing activities that you should be doing. We typically start with a broad topic that everyone could relate to and we think is important in the marketing world at the moment, and then we get a little bit more specific. We talk about the specific advisor client or master member marketing items that we recommend that you do for this month of November and next month in December based on our marketing calendar. And then we finish with some member questions that we have ready to go for that. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. And today our kind of first topic that we're going to be looking at is using AI in your client events and educational workshops and how you can use AI through that process. So before I jump into it, Sean, anything you want to start off with?
Well, the first thing I would say, and of course, you're going to see more from us very soon. Devin and I have been working feverishly on a new AI marketing for advisors program that will run from January 9th through it's a 5-week program, starts January 9th, finishes the first week of February. But we've been doing other trainings with advisors on AI. Our core philosophy here is that every advisor should be bringing on AI as a co-intelligence, as something that they work with, whenever they're faced with anything that's going to take them more than 5 minutes, they should, be turning to their AI model. When I say AI model, I mean ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini from Anthropic. Those are the 3 big ones. And that when you are able to cultivate an understanding of how AI models can assist you as a kind of expanding your intelligence or acting as practically like a very smart new employee or intern, or even on some matters, your partner. But that when you have a framework with AI as part of your daily workflow, you can use it in all sorts of things. And so Devin's suggesting, a rather, very narrow use case in this particular instance of leveraging your AI model, your AI tool, into helping you write marketing content, basically. So Devin, I'll throw that back to you.
Thanks. Yeah. And one of the reasons that I wanted to focus on this month is for our longtime advisor client members who are here with us. That we're about to start our marketing boot camp in about a month. And during our marketing boot camp, we focus on kind of 4 key areas of a marketing plan that you should have ready to go. And one of those areas is the event strategy. And that includes client events and educational events for prospects and the community at a large. So when I was thinking about, the topic for this month and the newsletter for this month, I wanted to kind of focus on how we could take something that we've been talking a lot about at Horse's Mouth, AI, and kind of incorporate it into some of the regular marketing that you probably are going to be doing anyway at this time of the year, thinking about your event strategy. And I was actually doing some work on a different presentation before I hopped on here. I was looking at a survey from Broadridge. They do a pretty substantial marketing survey every year that we look at. But I was looking at the one from 2024. So they surveyed advisors at the end of 2023 for this survey. So the numbers may be a little bit different, but what I found interesting is, number one, it was the first year that they had asked about AI and how advisors were using AI in the survey. And the results that they found were only about 8% of advisors were using AI. About 35% said that they weren't at the moment, but wanted to in the future. And here at Horse's Mouth, we did our own survey of advisors on AI, and we found pretty similar results, that it's still a really small percentage of advisors who are incorporating AI into their practice in any way, including marketing, or any other way that they see that coming. So I thought this might be an interesting topic to talk about, assuming that many of you probably aren't using AI, but might be in that 35% who want to use it and are trying to figure out exactly how to incorporate it into the marketing aspect of your business. So when we're looking at client events and workshops, there is a kind of a particular strategy that many of you probably follow when it comes to planning, right? So we're going to first look at the first part of that, which is coming up with what events you're going to do and then marketing those events, whether it's again to prospects and the community, or if it's a client event that is targeted at your clients. A lot of these strategies can be implemented for both. So number one is, you have to decide what the event is going to be. We've created kind of a marketing calendar for you. So if you're following that, we tell you what educational event to do each month, but maybe you want to do a special event and you want to do something for your clients that's really timely or, super pertinent to your niche of who you work with. You can use, you know, AI tools like something like Perplexity. It's something that Sean and I use pretty regularly. It's like Google on steroids. And see, ask Perplexity, like you would be asking Google, what are the key pain points that this demographic is facing right now? What are investors interested in learning about? And what's so powerful about Perplexity is it's not going to give you, a list of links like Google does. It is actually going to kind of write out an answer for you, and it will source where it's getting that information from. So you can feel extremely confident that this is actual data that is coming from surveys that are out there or articles or reports that other people have done, but it's putting it into a comprehensive report for you to read, and then be able to look at those sources a little bit further. So if you really want to differentiate yourself with a super timely topic, something that's really important to your demographic of, your ideal client persona, then going to something like Perplexity and trying to figure out exactly what those people are worried about could be a really great option during the initial planning stages of, what kind of event is this going to be. You could also use it for like social fun events too, if you want to come up with something a little bit different, asking Perplexity to help you come up with, a certain client event, give it a little bit of, direction of this is the kind of people that we're going to be inviting, what are some ideas that may be interested in, and you might be surprised at what comes up and how maybe it's something you never thought about before but could be really important to your niche and your clients. Sean, anything to add
Yeah,
there?
yeah. Well, I would say also, you can go a little deeper with, depending upon what the event is, you can engage the AI around the very specific event topic. You could ask it for some assistance in, your opening remarks
Mhm.
on that, or you could, depending upon the topic, ask for something humorous relating to, suppose you're having a beer and wine tasting or something like that, or whatever the case may be. The AI models are trained so deeply and have become, so fluent in their understanding that you'll be quite surprised and even tickled, I think, if you engage it in kind of a playful way. If that's what you were looking for is relating to, you're having a client event, assuming it's not educational, assuming it's maybe more social. You could come up with any variety of interesting approaches, I think.
Yeah, I think that's great. And then kind of the next step of that is once you have your event kind of, decided what it's going to be, using AI tools like a Chat GPT or Claude or Gemini to help you with the marketing for that event. So whether again you're going out to the public and you're inviting people to an educational event, or you need just an invitation to send to your clients, the AI models are really good at coming up with, different variations of an invitation or a marketing content in different tones. So again, to Sean's point, if it's something for your clients and you want it to be a little bit more informal, you can, when you prompt Chat GPT to help you with that invitation, you can give it that, information that you want it to be informal, you want it to be funny, you want it to, have puns in it, and like it will go ahead and do that and kind of come up with some copy that you can use in, something like an email invitation, maybe a flyer you want to put on your website. Maybe you even want to do something a little bit more personal and you want to, email out like a video invitation to clients and prospects. It can help you write a video script with the invitation. We had a advisor who's in our current AI program for advisors who used AI to help her create an invitation for her firms. I think it was a wine tasting. It was some sort of client event, and I think they were doing a wine tasting. And she had AI, help her with the copy of it. And when she came to our class and we were discussing it with her, we looked at it and it looked really good, but we noticed one area that she could have used AI, which, she didn't know at the time, was to help her create a more personalized image to include on the invitation. So she had a stock image, which it was fine. It looked, it had some information about their firm on it. There was nothing wrong with it. By any means, but Sean was able to show her a tool called Ideogram that you can prompt it to create images. It's kind of like ChatGPT's Dolly, which is built into ChatGPT, but it's specifically for images and I think a little bit more powerful. And you can prompt it to say, like, I want a group of pre-retirees drinking wine at a vineyard in the fall, and it will come up with images for you to choose from and add to your invitation. So if you're looking to get away from maybe some of the stock images that people see everywhere of the retirees, like on the beach, you can also use tools like ideogram.ai to help you come up with those images to include in those invitations on social media, in your emails, to stand out a little bit from there.
Hey, Devin.
Mhm.
You may recall when we were first experimenting with AI more than a year ago, I was playing around with an advisor who was putting on a shredding event and then suggesting, since it was going to be in October, that maybe they would have beer and an band there. And then I said, all right, give us some funny names. So I just kind of recreated that prompt very quickly here. One name was Shredtoberfest, right? So this is a shredding event where we're going to have an band and a little beer, because beer and brats, right? Shredenstein, Purge Party, Pints and Paper Pulverizing, The Great Shreddle, like the Great Pretzel, Beer Brats and Bye Bye Docs, Worst Case Shredario, Fräulein File Fiasco, and October Shred Papers into Pretzels. Anyway, the point is that you can have some fun with these things too.
Yeah, and especially if you find yourself in a situation where, maybe you've been here before where you're marketing an event, you've written one good marketing email, but you realize, like, I need to send out 4 or 5 more of these, and I don't necessarily want them to be exactly the same. And maybe I want a different hook for each of them, but I don't necessarily have the time to sit down and write 5 more of these. That's another great use for ChatGPT, where you're putting that one email you have into it and asking it to, like, come up with a series of emails based around that you can send out, where you've provided that original content it's going to pull from, but it's going to come up with, like, different hooks to get people in or different bullet points to focus on. And you can easily have a full series in just a couple of seconds, as opposed to having to sit down and write 5 different invitations that you're going to send out over the course of 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. So there's a lot of ways that you can use it in the early stages of planning an event and also marketing an event, inviting people to that event to make sure that they know about it. And you can get probably a little bit more creative than you might be able to on your own, just because you can get, as Sean just showed, 10 different titles in a couple of seconds for you to work from. And if you don't like any of them, you just ask it to do it again and you'll get some more. So it's a great option for a lot of that kind of planning part of the event that you might be struggling with, or, maybe that's something that you want to spend a lot of your time doing. The next kind of area that I think AI can be useful during, events and educational workshops is actually during the kind of the content creation and customization phase of it. Not suggesting that you go and have AI create your entire presentation for you and just go ahead and present it. But, you can use AI to help you kind of generate tailored presentations that are going to hit on certain, items that you want to hit on. If you want to say you have a pretty good outline of a presentation, but you need some help in certain areas, you can, prompt ChatGPT to help you with that. Maybe you just really need help with a catchy title and you want ChatGPT to come up with a title for you, and they can come up with, 10 different variations for you to use. Or even if you have, kind of a prepackaged presentation that you're using, but you want to add a more personal touch from your firm, you can have ChatGPT kind of take a look at that and think about where you can prompt it to, maybe talk specifically about your niche that you work with, or if you have a specific kind of follow-up plan that you bring all, prospects through, adding some slides that are going to be talking about that. So there's ways where you can take content that you already have and have AI make it a little bit more custom to you and your firm without spending a ton of time on that. But say you have a presentation that's like good, you don't want to make any changes to it. There's still a lot of other content that you can use AI to help you create. Number one, if you want your presentation to be more interactive, you can prompt it to create, maybe quizzes, little quiz questions that you kind of throw in during the presentation. If you're doing a webinar, it can be those poll questions that pop up in person. You can simply ask the audience. That helps keep people engaged, keep people on their toes. It makes it more of an interactive presentation between you and the attendees. You could also have it kind of create some supplementary material for you, things like an FAQ. Say you want to give attendees, a handout or something. It could be an FAQ or an outline of the presentation. Things like that, where you're giving them something tangible, and you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of time creating that. If it's more of a social event, like a client event, you could also use the AI there to come up with, some sort of maybe giveaway that you're going to, a raffle, if you want to come up with the wording for that. Different parts of, if you're doing maybe like a social presentation, like for example, we had one advisor a few years ago who had a master gardener come in and talk about, gardening in that particular area. It was she had a huge success with it. But you could even have, ChatGPT come up with a kind of a quiz for everyone to take about, gardening in the area to start off the night and see how they score. Just as a fun way to maybe break the ice or come up with some, icebreakers for the audience to talk about. So there's a lot of ways you can use AI in the kind of creation process, whether or not you're starting from scratch and you want it to help you build out a full presentation, or if you have something ready to go, but you want to make it a little bit more custom to you and your firm. Anything to add there, Sean?
No, I think that's good.
And the last area I want to talk about is follow-up. Obviously, we know follow-up is a huge part of events, whether it's a client event where you're thanking clients for coming, possibly maybe you had them invite friends, so you have possible referrals there that you want to follow up with, or an educational event where these are prospects that you're trying to bring in for a meeting with you. Follow-up is hugely, hugely important, but it can also take a lot of time to kind of come up with a comprehensive follow-up campaign for all of your events, especially if you're, starting from not doing a lot of events and you need to build this out. But ChatGPT is great for this. You can prompt it to come up with, 6-sequence follow-up emails about, give it the presentation that you gave, the slides, have it kind of come up with that for you, so you can go ahead and then personalize it how you see fit. You can also tell it, I'm going to send these additional educational pieces out. Can you write me some copy around that? It can help you with like the sequence of it when you should be sending out those pieces. It's also really kind of cool, is especially if you're doing a follow-up for maybe a client event where they invited a friend and now you have these referrals. You can have ChatGPT kind of create these custom personalized emails to send out to each possible referral instead of sending out kind of the blanket email that you're going to give out to everyone. So maybe you have some notes about, you talk to this person about this or this person about that. You can upload all of that into ChatGPT, have it kind of create these personal follow-up notes where if you were going to do that or someone on your team was going to do that for, 10 people, it could take you a couple hours to get those situated, but you could have it done in a few minutes for ChatGPT. You can also use it for educational events, helping you come up with personalized action plans for different attendees. So if you kind of have any information on them already, or if it's clients who attended the educational event, having it help you kind of create these personalized follow-up emails with the next steps that individual can take. It's a huge value add for clients, and AI can help you get that done in just a few minutes by you giving it some information and prompting it correctly to get there. So there's really a lot that you can do to shorten a lot of the planning and follow-up parts of these events. So you don't have to spend all your time doing that. And you can have better, more personalized, creative pieces of content going out to your list pre and post event. That's all I had on that, Sean. Anything else you want to
No, I think that's good.
add on that?
No, I think that's good, you know.
Okay, so our next part of our meeting, we move into the specific marketing actions that we recommend everyone take for the current month we're in, November, and next month of December. Before we do that, I briefly mentioned it on the onset, but we are going to be starting our advisor client marketing bootcamp in December. So make sure that you have that on your calendar. They'll all be recorded in case you have to miss them, but we'll be walking through creating, your full marketing plan for the year. And we've gotten some questions on this. We'll be releasing the marketing calendar for 2025 in the next week or so. So that will be available on the website in the next probably 7 to 10 days. So you can keep an eye out for that as well. But now I will jump into what we're looking at for this month of November. Each month we have a theme and we base our recommendations around that theme. So for the month of November, our theme is long-term care planning. We have our article reprint is how to pay for long-term care, 8 strategies. You can see it here. This would be personalized with your information. This is odd. When I signed on before, it was my picture here. I don't know why it's not right now, but it will be yours when you sign on. And it goes through different ways that people can think about long-term care planning, how they can pay for it. This is a great piece to send out to your list, whether it's your clients who are thinking about long-term care planning for themselves, or if you have younger clients who might be thinking about this for their parents. It's a great kind of conversation starter between the generations, especially if you're an advisor who's looking to build a relationship with your clients' children. This could be a great way to kind of get into that, making sure that, everyone's kind of on the same page about long-term care planning and what that might look like. So this is our reprint for the month. We also have, our very popular last chance financial planning checklist. I know we talked about this a little bit last month, but I just wanted to pull it up for you again so you could see it here. It goes through about, I think, over 50 different points that people may want to look at, going into next year. So things that may have changed during this year that they need to inform you about, or things that look like they might change for them in the future going forward. It covers things like taxes, retirement, your insurance, milestones, health. There's a second side to it as well about just general changes, family. And this is a great thing to send out. If you haven't sent it out already, we recommend doing it hard copy and PDF. But it's a great way to touch base with your clients at the end of the year, get those kind of end of the year meetings to come in. Also send it out to your prospects. So you never know what has changed in their life since the last time you talked to them. And this might be the catalyst for them to say, you know what, yeah, I need to come in and schedule a meeting because I am going through this change. I'm about to think about claiming Social Security and I need someone to help me with that. So this can just be kind of a great piece to send out a couple of times at the end of the year to get those kind of last minute meetings in there, and also come up with a plan for your current clients for next year and have, a checklist that you can easily run through. So we love this piece. We recommend sending it out a couple of times prior to the new year. And then we also have a client action webinar that goes along with that handout that I just showed you there. So if you want to schedule, 20 minutes for your clients to come on a quick webinar while you walk them through it to make sure that they actually take some time to fill it out. Some advisors find good success with doing that and getting those clients to come in and schedule an appointment. But our general prospecting webinar for the month of November is our long-term care planning presentation, which is called Getting Long-Term Care Planning Right. And it walks through kind of the different options that many people look at about long-term care planning, the myths that surround it, and how clients and their families can prepare for that transition and what that might look like for them. And then looking at December, our theme is year-end planning. So our reprint for that month is 9 reasons you should consult with your CPA before year end. It goes through kind of different areas that your clients may want to have a conversation with their CPA about. This makes you look good because you're kind of preparing them to go talk to their CPA about these items. It can help kind of build that relationship with the CPA, but it also helps you because if you have certain financial, planning strategies you want to implement with them, you can kind of prepare them to have that conversation with the CPA to make sure everything there looks good. We also have an additional handout that we recommend in the month of December. This is a more fun handout. I just want to pull it up quickly. But it's 50 things what a financial professional does for you. And we'd like to kind of call this like the brag sheet for advisors. So if you probably have kind of felt this before where you have a client who's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you could help me with X, Y, and Z." This reminds everyone, everything that you help them with, everything that you're available for. Throughout the year on different topics, which, not only refreshes your clients' minds of, the different areas that you help them with, but can also be a great way to spark kind of a referral. If they're reading through this list and it helps them think of a person going through that, it might be the catalyst for them to reach out and give that referral. So this is kind of a fun thing you can send out at the end of the year as kind of your brag sheet to your clients about everything that you do for them throughout the year. And then our presentation for that month is going to be about legacy planning and estate planning. So how to plan, communicate, and execute the smooth transfer of assets and values from one generation to the next. And then also key financial data. We will have, there is a preliminary version out right now. We just got some more numbers from the IRS on Friday. So we are updating the retirement account contribution levels right now. That we finalize probably at the end of December, once we know that everything is good. But we'll have a client action webinar around that. So if you want to get out in December and talk about key tax numbers for 2025, you'll be able to do that. And the card will also be available at the end of the year too for you to send out. But I'm sure we'll talk more about that during our meeting next month. So those are your marketing activities for the next 60 days. Stop sharing there quickly. Okay. And now we're going to get into member questions. Our first question, given that referrals are crucial in our industry, how would you structure a digital marketing strategy that encourages and amplifies word of mouth from satisfied clients? Sean, we didn't talk about this ahead. Do you want to take this one or you want me to take
Yeah,
this one?
well, we can talk through
Okay.
both of them, together. I think obviously the key thing, with, promoting referrals is, of course, doing a great job of client service. But the other thing I think that is really critical is to, especially as it relates to your digital strategy, is to, be fairly active and give away, good advice in short, chunks, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. For instance, you could take the last chance financial planning checklist topics and tee up, one at a time, taxes, planning, estate, all the different subtopics that are there. You could tee them up and, you could use AI to help you draft, a pithy, 100 words or a short blog post or, social media post that then links, to a short blog. I mean, I think when you're out there sharing as much financial planning content and helping people think about potential challenges and pointing them in the right direction relating to potential solutions, that's the kind of thing that their clients are, respond to and are more inclined, I think, to remember you when it comes to referring you or sharing your information with others, that sort of thing. So I think that's one key thing I would keep it is that you really lean into the social media and don't hold back in terms of what it is that you can share. Now, as members of Horse's Mouth, master members or advisor client, you have access to, a massive trove of great financial planning content. So use it in a way that, will get you attention by not holding back, but by being out there and, sharing as much as possible. Be my take
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, I think that's key. I think sometimes people worry about giving away too much information, and shy away from sharing all of that great educational value that you have. But, there are definitely instances where you proving that you have that value and that knowledge can be really impactful, especially from a referral standpoint. The other thing I would add to that is thinking about how you can, utilize testimonials in a creative way now that we have the new SEC rule that I know compliance departments are still being kind of slow with rolling out exactly how advisors can do this. But if you have, approval to do things, thinking about how you can incorporate testimonials into your referral strategy. So, there are some advisors who are doing, video testimonials from clients and sharing those on social media, like Sean was saying, or on their website. But thinking about maybe a more creative way, I was kind of brainstorming some ideas and maybe doing some, case studies of clients in a video format where you're talking about, what their situation was when they first got there. And of course, you can, change names and those details. How you help them and where they are now can be kind of a great way to show your value and how your planning can really help people, get to the financial, situation that they want to be in. And also, I think, if you can collect testimonials and reviews, making sure that you have like Google My Business set up so people can put reviews there, and that's working and everything looks good is another way. 'Cause we know that even if someone gets a referral from a family member or a friend, they're still going to look you up online before they make any sort of decision to call you or reach out. And so, having these items on your website, whether it's that educational value that Sean was talking about, where they can see, this is how you operate and, it's not salesy and you're giving information, education, and then also being able to read from other people who have worked with you and have that social proof are kind of two important areas, I think, in that kind of referral strategy system. So that's what I would add to that.
Yeah, I think, the other key thing to keep in mind is you were kind of hinting at it there, but, to be able to tell a story. So when you're crafting the testimonials, think in terms of, what was the challenge the client faced, or what was their life like before they brought their situation to you? Then how did you two work together? And now how their life is different. And so that's a very simple formula, but it's one that resonates with people. So I certainly would, keep that approach in mind. And the other thing is, if you're doing Google reviews, my wife sells Medicare, and she has more than 100 5-star reviews, maybe even a couple hundred 5-star reviews on Google. And whenever she finishes with her clients, she says, "Could you give me a 5-star rating on Google?" She doesn't say rate me on Google. She says, "Can you give me a 5-star rating on Google?" And of course, I know she delivers 5-star ratings. Our clients love her. But you ask for the 5 stars. And, there you go. So asking you shall receive.
Yeah, and social proof is huge. People love to see it from other people that you're great and doing your job. So don't be afraid to ask, I guess, is part of that too.
Definitely.
Okay, second question we have. Based on my target market of professionals and business owners aged 45 to 65, what should be our ideal marketing mix between digital and traditional channels? I found that many of my clients still value physical touch points.
Yeah, this is a big issue with me. And, if I had to ballpark it, I would say you would lean like 60% traditional, 40% digital. Do not give up on print advertising. You cannot go 100% digital, in my view, and really be remembered. You're fighting for a line in somebody's email box, or a 5-second view as people are scrolling through their social media feed. Whereas if you, and that's fine, that's the reality of digital. But you've got clients, you've got prospects, you've got important information to share with them on any wide range of, financial planning challenges that they and their family members are facing. And so, for instance, we're in the middle of selling, our annual key financial data right now. It's one of the most popular things that we have in terms of client handouts. And, advisors have been sending this, double-sided card that just has really the tax tables from the IRS and a variety of deadlines and other information. And they send it as a hard copy. And one of the reasons they do it is because it's not like their clients are looking at this stuff and poring over it intensively, although you may have, one or two clients who are like that. But it's the message that it delivers that, oh, Sean is sending me key financial data 2025. Right. Sean's my financial advisor. He's on top of this stuff. Taxes, I know, already hearing in the headlines, taxes in 2025, going to be a big topic. Sean's my guy. And it just reinforces, your messaging and your positioning, with your clients in a way that if you sent that digitally, it's just not the same. Just not the same. And so, also every now and then talk about a guy in Springfield, Illinois named Joe Latour. And Joe has been hugely successful since 2008 with using Social Security as a way to bring in new clients. And Joe has a couple different radio shows. The one's on Saturday and the other's like in the middle of the week, I think. He has some TV ads, inexpensive TV ads on local TV. He has billboards as well. And he's been doing this for years. So these are non-digital approaches, traditional marketing approaches. And the thing is, he's out there. And when people finally then receive a direct mail invitation from him to come to one of his Social Security workshops, they know Joe. Okay. Oh, that's the guy I've heard on the radio. That's the guy who's on the billboard down on, on the boulevard, or he's the guy, I saw on TV last night, or whatever the case may be. Joe's been at it. He runs an integrated campaign with traditional channels. He also does digital as well, of course. And it all comes together. And I think the traditional hard copy stuff has a lot of value, right? So when people receive that invitation from Joe in their mail, they recognize him. He's not just some Johnny come lately. So there's dividends that the print stuff delivers in a way that the digital stuff does in a different way. But again, that's not to say we're against digital, right? I think email marketing and being active on LinkedIn and Facebook also, really critical.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't have much to add other than that there's, areas that digital works well for, if you're doing a regular kind of email newsletter update and things like that. But certainly, print marketing is not dead, and it would be a mistake to completely abandon that for the digital options available.
Yep. Right. Plus, there's always the possibility you lose control. It's like, you start building some great thing on one platform, and then, like on Facebook or something, you tick a button here or there inside the admin panel, and you don't know what you've done. And next thing you know, you can't even buy an ad on Facebook, and you can't find anybody to talk to try and understand what happened. So you want to have more than one channel that you're active in. Sure.
Totally.
All right, Devin, is that it for this week?
That's it for this month.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for being with us again. And like Devin and I were mentioning earlier, we do have a new AI Marketing for Advisors program coming out soon. So keep your eyes out for that. And we'll be talking more about it next time.